Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Diane Borman. I'm a multi-award-winning business growth strategist. And today I want to talk to you about those hours in between meetings, those minutes that we waste. I spoke about how much is a meeting costing you, but I want you to really think about all those little moments that we waste during our day. I've had so many people say they don't have time, they can't finish everything in a day, they don't have enough hours, they work long hours into the night, they wake up early in the mornings, they work over weekends. And I can tell you that that's absolute nonsense. So let's look at number one. Number one, what happens when you commute? So if you driving to meetings, or if you climb onto a bus or to a train, or you in the back of an Uber, there's time. So if you're driving, that's one thing, because you can play podcasts, you can play YouTubes without obviously watching the YouTubes. You can make phone calls, which I did this week. In fact, a couple of my clients phoned me during the time that I was driving from a meeting back home. So what do you do in that time? Do you just sit and think, which is also fine because we need those hours and those moments to think? Or are we just sitting listening to absolute nonsense that's coming across on the radio? So think about, what are you doing when you're commuting between your meetings? Where are you and what can you do? If you're sitting in the back of an Uber or on a train or on a taxi or on a bus, then spend that time answering some emails. Spend that time doing your social media. Spend that time sitting on Canva, creating your social media. Spend that time sitting on MailChimp, doing newsletters. There's a lot of things that we can do within that time period, or sit on YouTube and listen to some educational videos, because we always need to gain more information on a topic that you're battling with. Look for new information so that it can help you. So don't forget, you have those hours. And if you are commuting between meetings, etc., use that time. There's another thing that is a problem when during that time that we are commuting, often we get lost in Canva. We get lost in social media. We get lost in emails or games on our phone. So we've got to be careful that we are not taking distractions and going down that spiral of hours later. We're coming out of that spiral of going down. You have to limit it. So commuting helps you limit that. So when you get back into your office in the evenings, you're not spending that amount of time doing any of the above. And I would really and truly encourage you to spend the time in the mornings and in the evenings before you close up or before you go back home, is to when you answer your emails, is when you answer social media or add your social media posts, etc., because it gives you a time limit. And limiting it normally to half an hour, depending on what you've got to do, really does help. So spending that time commuting allows you to go down that rabbit hole, but you've got to know by the time that you get to your destination, the following has to be done: Canva, emails, social media, etc. Social media, emails, Canva, newsletters, MailChimp, those should be done. So have you really taken the time to prioritize the day, the week, and the month? So do you know what you need to do during that time? Because I know that 90% of business owners are busy just being busy, and rather than busy doing business. So you would know whether the focus for that month, that week, and that day, what it is that you need to do if you know what's going on in your business. So the meetings that you are having should be to make sure that those goals for that month, week, day has been set, is achievable. We always want you to be looking for new business. You've got to spend 80% of your times building relationships and looking for new business. Otherwise, you have a redundant business. And then What about your current clients? So that's why when you commute and if you're driving in your car, spend that time phoning. So long as you've got a hands-free kit, you can spend that time having a conversation with one of your current clients because often they feel neglected. They're not sure where you're at, that you haven't heard from you. All you're doing is doing the work, but rather than actually spending time having conversations with them. Unless you're part of a network where you see your clients, how often do you really talk to them? So it's a perfect opportunity to spend time while you're commuting. What are you really wasting time on? Things like planning. We've spoken about this so many times where you've got to plan your month in the years and your year. You've got to plan your quarters. You've got to plan your months. You've got to plan your weeks and you've got to plan your days. But certain things take up our time, like planning your wardrobe. Get somebody to help you. I have a perfect person to recommend to you. But know what your clothes are for your work day because it makes your life easier. Put them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays in the beginning of the week on a Sunday. Plan your clothes that you're going to wear. Then it doesn't take time. If you are somebody that needs to plan a menu, plan your menu and meal prep because it doesn't take time. And it's so important for you to know. And while you're doing that, plan your meetings that you've got for the next week, 2 or 3 in the month. So everything usually comes back to planning. If you're not doing some form of planning in your business, now is the real time to do it. And my suggestion is to take something very simple, like your wardrobe planning for the week. If you do it and get into the habit of doing it, it saves you so much time. You can't procrastinate. You wake up, you do your exercise, you have your breakfast, and put on your clothes and go to work. It saves you so much time. But it also teaches you a valuable way of how you can do life, how you can do business without just being busy. And that becomes really important right now. And then what I want you to think about in your 24 hours of a day or 8 hours of your business day is what is your true focus for that day and for that week and for that month. Think about things like what are you really good at? Who do you know is really good at the things that you're not really good at? How can you collaborate with one another? How can you do joint ventures? How can you create an affiliate program so that people are earning commissions from what you do so that you don't have to do everything? Because that's what fills your day up is normally the things that we don't do really well takes us way longer. So there is a video that we've already posted of how much your hour costs you. So ensure that you are part of an intern program. Get them to do research for you. Make sure you've got your action plans in place. When you walk away from a meeting, what is the action plan from that meeting? Comes back to, are you really planning and doing business effectively? So I hope there's a couple of tips and tricks here for you today and that you've enjoyed listening. If you have, please subscribe at the bottom, put a like, do something because it helps the algorithm. I've got no idea what's going on yet, but I'm learning on my journey. But I do know is a business. And I hope these tips and tricks will help you be more efficient and effective in your day. Be awesome and be blessed, and we chat to you soon.